The collab you didn't know you needed, but secretly always wanted. One that is built to break the internet, guys. I'm Chris Phillips. He is Blake Ruffino joining me. This is something that's been in the works for quite some time, and we're really excited to get this fired up. Welcome to Your Point, the newest SEC weekly show. It'll be SEC sports, a little bit of everything in between. Really, really fired up to take some off-air conversations and bring them on the air to you all between myself and Blake. Guys, again, appreciate you all tuning in. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, check us out via podcast or get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. And as always, we are powered by our friends over at FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get $200 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FANDUEL.com/SECU to get $200 in bonus bets today. Once again, it's a collab that is built to break the internet. You don't believe me? Every single time I've had this man on our show, on our airwaves, and I've been on his, it seems to happen. For better, for worse, either way, we are here. The debut of To Your Point, the newest show, weekly show on SEC Unfiltered. This is episode number 1, talking all things SEC, on field, off field, everything in between. And I'm Chris Phillips. He is Blake Ruffino. Blake, what is up, man? Appreciate you taking the time. I'm excited, dude. You and I have been talking about this for the last, I would say, probably a few months now. Yes. A lot of off-air conversations, a lot of, essentially, we talk, I feel like, every single day. Now bringing it, at least some of that on air. We'll leave some of it off, obviously, for obvious reasons. But bringing that on air, man, super stoked to get this rolling with you. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun. You know, the last time I came in the Lion's Den, 750,000 people disagree with my ass. But it nevertheless, the truth can be told and people can get mad. But sometimes, to your point about our collab, sometimes the things have to be unfiltered, okay? And, Chris, that's one thing that we could go on a rant on. Like, I feel like fans sometimes, for what it's worth, they don't agree with the point because they don't understand the point that's trying to be made, right? As, like, for an example, the one where we talked about with Texas and Oklahoma, LSU traveling to both. It's not just a one-term thing. Like, everybody's like, oh, this sounds scared. Why is LSU, as an example, or why does Tennessee, as an example, have to go to schools back-to-back years? It's not just an LSU thing. Tennessee's got to do it too. Why does that happen? So, really, in my call-out, not about Texas, in my call-out to Greg Sankey, who's been a Rudy Poo, if anybody wants to just call it the truth, my call-out was to him, right? Like, my call-out was, look, umpiring and refereeing has been bad. Scheduling has been horrible. So, you know, last time I was here, people didn't like it, and then Texas won the series versus LSU, and people got mad, you know? So it's good to look, two people who think alike, who will just tell you like it is, and that's what the SEC needs, and that's what we're going to bring it.
We're off to a hot start, calling out the commissioner already. It's going to be a lot of fun, I can already tell. Also, by the way, I apologize in advance to all the Aggies out there who will inevitably be offended by something Blake says either on this show or maybe every show that we do. I got nothing but love for you guys. So
and listen, make fun of my facial hair. I double dog dare you. Like, I double dog dare you to make fun of my facial hair. If we're going to go there, brother, you can't have Thanos' nutsack on your chin and start making fun of my facial hair. So regardless, yes, A&M. But listen, hold on now. Speaking of that show, the last time I came in here, some people were warned about Michael Early. Now, I know that we're going to talk about Michael Early, and people call me nuts. All right, yeah, who's nuts now?
I just love the LSU A&M dynamic. I have to shout out, by the way, for that reason and because the name of this show, you and I's mutual friend, Miss Joy, who does a phenomenal job with her own content. So she actually pointed out, Blake, we've all got some people it's other people have kind of their, whatever, it's bridge words, or I don't know exact phrases they say. Yours is however. We couldn't call this the however podcast. I guess we could have, but it didn't feel as catchy. But To Your Point is mine. And Joy pointed that out months ago, and now every time I say it, I haven't stopped saying it, but every time I say it, I'm painfully aware of the fact I'm saying it. And so I was like, you know what? It just felt right. It felt right. to your point, it is. And to your point, here we are. And to her point, it's a great name for the show. So
I agree.
Appreciate Joy. And I mentioned this to you off air, Blake, but some of my favorite content on the internet right now is Joy's daily trolling of Texas A&M. So I love it. I love the rivalry. I love the hatred between the two.
One thing that the SEC did get right, LSU, I've told you this, outside of Saban, okay, and the Alabama rivalry and LSU fans just wanting to beat Alabama and everything because of losing a national title to them. We've talked about that before, and not to, go down that rabbit hole. LSU's last game of the season, every year when I grew up, was Arkansas. Every year, right? Darren McFadden, Matt Jones, Peyton Hillis. Bro, they had Felix Jones, Darren McFadden, and Peyton Hillis all in the backfield. And like, I remember LSU losing in 2007, right? Like, they lost in 2007 Thanksgiving week. That game got moved because LSU just kept dominating the series, and then A&M comes in here. They're not playing Texas, and they need a rival. Well, it was LSU. And then LSU goes on a decade-long streak of beating the dog shit out of them. And then it kind of started from there. Like, we're going to come in here and get you one time. Brother, you're 13-3, 13-2. Like, what? Like, what? And so the good thing that the SEC did, in all honesty, A&M people don't like LSU people, and LSU people don't like A&M people. That was the one thing that I do think that the SEC did get right, that it brewed something that happened. By the way, both teams started recruiting the same players, which then revved it up even more. Chase Laviolette decommits when Paul Maneri retires and then goes to A&M. Like, from a baseball perspective, it took off. And then you had Twitter, who started calling them the Goobs, and then they take shots back at us. And then, I mean, listen, the truth is, it has been a good rivalry that I think that LSU has needed. Because they haven't had more of a mutual, like, I don't like you, right? And then, Texas coming into the league kind of hinders that a little.
Yeah, most forced rivalries, Blake, don't work. This one
worked.
That one, to your point, has worked very well. And again, shout out to Joy, the inspiration for the name of this show, and just some fantastic content on TikTok and taking shots. It always makes me laugh every day when I see her stuff. It makes me laugh. Something else that'll make you laugh, Blake. Let's get into, again, this show. So this episode 1, we got some topics lined up to give you guys an idea. You already know, again, Blake Ruffino, AYS Sports. Ruffino and Joe does a fantastic job. Blake, one of the most unfiltered dudes on the internet, which is why we're doing this show together and why I wanted to do this show with Blake. If you don't know who I am, you probably do, but Chris Phillips, founder, owner, SEC Unfiltered, one of the most prominent SEC entities on the internet. We cover everything, football, baseball, basketball, but we're trying to do stuff, and I'm rolling out stuff. If you don't know this Blake, and everybody else out there, I'm just trying to have as much fun as possible these days and just fun shit and have fun conversations with people that I really enjoy having them with. And and I know you see our content, Blake. You and I have collabed a ton, obviously, talking everything. We've got all the bases covered when it comes to football, baseball, basketball, previews, predictions, everything in between. I wanted to roll out there and introduce some more kind of lighthearted stuff to talk about all the other stuff that's kind of between the lines that maybe we discuss on social media, or obviously you and I, we've been discussing for months, off air, off the record, bringing that stuff on the record and just, again, having some really fun combos. That stuff I know fans care about, but it's not your typical daily banter, if you will. That's going to be the purpose of what this show provides to you. It's still going to be SEC sports for the most part. We might dive into some other stuff too, just some kind of common interest topics or whatever. But we're the bottom line is this: it's going to be a lot of banter, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we are inevitably going to piss people off, and that always brings a smile to my face. So without further ado, here we go. That being said, Blake, we got to jump. We're probably going to talk about social media and especially Twitter a lot on this show because, like, think about it. SEC sports, the Twitterverse is as ingrained into the culture of the SEC as anything else. It really is, right? Like, it's its own world. Like, it really, truly is this own world.
Yes.
And it was actually Joy who pointed this out to me. So shout out to Joy for being in the know of what's going on Twitter, Blake. This Tennessee Vol Twitter, which we're all familiar with, Vol Twitter catfish situation.
Yes.
And it's actually a South Carolina account burner that got catfished. We have a modern day Manti Te'o situation, Blake, in 2025 on the Twitterverse.
How?
Listen, I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say this. If you go looking for love in the burnerverse, you deserve to get catfished.
Yes.
Sorry, not sorry. You deserve to get catfished. Like, it is, my brother in Christ, go outside. Like, when they say touch grass, go touch grass. Go download an app. They got apps for that now. Go to a bar. Just the burnerverse. You're searching for love in the burnerverse. Like, I mean, I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you in this situation.
Well, and I looked at the Cali girl, her Twitter, okay? Like, bro, you can easily tell, like, her picture she's posting is AI. Now, you know that now because of the fact that you know that it's a burner, right? But when look, I've been married for almost a decade now. I don't do this, but you know good and damn well when you're looking at somebody and you're like scrolling after them or like looking at them, you're paying really close detail of who they are. You're not DMing a burner account because of the simple fact that you think that she's not hot. The reason it happened is you thought that she was hot. And as my grandfather would say, don't make emotional decisions while you're horny. You got horny, okay? And you wanted to get some. You thought she was hot, and you thought you could get some from her. And that's what happened. But you could easily tell by a normal human being's brain that this was fake. The crazy thing, though, apparently per Vol Twitter, okay, one, I think we're all being catfished a little bit here, just overall. But
are we being catfished over the catfish? Is this
like
it's all?
Yes.
This kind of reminds me of, God, I hate Blake. We're a few weeks late, by the way, on this. This kind of reminds me of the Ole Miss, the Daddy Gate, where it was like, I don't even know if it was a real story or not.
Well, you say that, but see, here's the problem with Daddy Gate and Manti Te'o. We have actual human beings that have made comments in reference to it. Like, for example, the girl's dad goes on Facebook and comes out and says, we're suing the shit out of all of you. Like, and so
that's why we're going to say allegedly, by the way. This is all alleged. Allegedly.
All alleged, right.
It's all allegedly.
So by the way,
please don't sue us.
And by the way, you know that Lane Kiffin, when he saw Daddy Gate and Ole Miss trending, was arguably the most scared person on the face of the earth.
When he woke up and saw that, he was like, oh God. What did I do? What did I say? I'll say this on air. I didn't really feel comfortable tweeting it because it's all love. Lane Kiffin follows us. Lane, we love you. Appreciate that. But what I wanted to tweet so bad and couldn't, because context matters. Like, we'll probably say, I will probably use this as an opportunity to say a lot of things on this show that, like, I don't know that I want to tweet, but I'm able to provide context, body language, It's just different when it's spoken word versus cut and dry on 140 or 280 characters.
Yes.
I wanted to tweet so badly. Who would have ever thought we would have a sex scandal at Ole Miss called Daddy Gate, and it wouldn't have anything to do with Lane Kiffin?
Not Lane Kiffin.
Not even Lane Kiffin thought that.
Lane Kiffin.
Like,
right.
if you'd have asked him 5 years ago, he'd have been like, yeah, I believe that. That was probably me.
Well, here's the real truth. Lane does have a Daddy Gate situation going on, but it has nothing to do with anything very inappropriate. He had a college football player that was on his team that was dating his daughter and then left. They're not related anymore, or they're not together anymore. Not related. They're not together anymore. The kid transferred.
The 2+2 situation.
I mean, come on. I mean, there's a whole Daddy Gate situation going on here. And listen, in reference to the Vol Twitter, like, I do think that the Daddy Gate thing was like a fraternity thing going bad, right?
Dude,
like
the kid, the boyfriend, had to go on his personal Instagram and, like, make a statement. I'm like, life comes at you really fast. Like, one day you're slamming natty lights with the boys and just chilling, and then the next day you're having to issue a public statement, and, like, Antonio Brown is clowning you on his Twitter. Like,
God. And Chris, we've both been in those situations because we run massive media accounts that like it feels like the entire world is against you when you know good and damn well it's not.
Right.
Right. Like, and that's the part where it's like this dude will always be known for that. Like, hey, man, your dad screwed your girlfriend. you know, like, I mean, that's unfortunate, even though it probably, and the truth is, unfortunately, it's probably not true. But at the same time, everybody's going to have in the back of their mind that this happened. But I got to say this about Vol Twitter, though. Okay. It does not surprise me that this happens a week after they lost a midweek game. I'm a conspiracy theorist, Chris. Things don't. Here's the truth. For me, things are never coincidence. I never believe in coincidence. They're trolling you. They're getting after you, bro. There's another fan base out there getting you. And then, by the way, how mentally ill do you have to be if you're that fake Cali girl to watch all Tennessee just to be trolling Tennessee at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, it really is a microcosm. There's some really fun, I think, cool burners out there. I mean, heck, I'll just say it, man. I got a few buddies that I know for a fact they are in the Burnerverse. They're not nearly as like prominent or active, but they have burners and they get after it a little bit. So there's some good ones. There's some fun ones. There's some funny ones. I don't think every burner is a shitbag, scum of the earth human being, but my God.
Have you seen the Richard West guy?
Oh, dude. Oh my God. On that note, Blake, it was one of those moments. He high key got me, but I caught myself like that fast. The day that he said Rob Vaughn is suspended and having to pay a fine, I believed it. Dude, not only did I believe it, here's why he got me. It wasn't really him that got me. Bro,
CBS reported.
I go on Facebook and it's like the Alabama Crimson Tide 24/7 account.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I mean, they wouldn't just run this and then I go on Twitter and I see and I'm like, oh shit.
They got.
I deleted it with the quickness and I was like, thank God somehow nobody noticed it. But dude, Richard West is a really, really funny one.
Oh, I do.
Because he looks like a reporter.
Right. And the funny thing is, he does such a good job of making it believable. You're like,
he's got like the format down and
100%. And you're like, hold on. hold on.
And like, that one was actually kind of believable. Like you started the show off talking about Greg Sankey. So I'll say, like, that's some shit Sankey would probably
100%.
Just 100%. Like, dude, when he said like, because I remember he's like, Rob Vaughn has been forced to write an apology letter to Tony Vitello in Tennessee baseball. And I was like, what?
You're right.
Like, what?
Well, and that whole incident of like that Nick Mangione and Michael Early and like,
God.
I'm like, dude, this is insane. But he got me on Lane Kiffin to Auburn. If you remember the whole Lane Kiffin to Auburn, I got on that one.
Listen, everybody's gotten got by Richard West at some point. Everybody. I don't care who you are. Everybody has.
Dick West.
Maybe the only, Dick West. I think the only way maybe you haven't is if you're a Vol and you just see this guy a lot. But at the same time, like, no, I think everybody at one point at least like saw it for a moment. They were like, and they're like, oh, never mind. This is
dude, the best burner account that I ever came across was Bo Pelini's burner account. He called it Bo Pelini's burner. It was like Bo's burner.
Wasn't there one called like Faux Pelini?
Faux Pelini. Yeah, that
was him?
Yeah, that was him.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good one.
The dude had like a couple 100,000. He's got like Bo Pelini, who's the most like red face, like I'm not gonna do it. And before AI was even a thing, like a picture of Bo Pelini with a cat, like
I do remember that. Yeah,
you know,
Bo Pelini, dude. This is like late 2010s Twitter you're talking about. Like people,
it was coming out.
I don't know if people realize how different of a place Twitter used to be.
Oh,
like, dude, I had Twitter all the way back in 2010. Like, it was a different world, dude. Back when you could really say anything and people did say anything. It's why you got guys that are getting drafted. It's like, he tweeted this back in 2011.
Yeah, like Joey Bosa.
It's like, oh my God, dude. Like,
come on. Well, and you know what's even crazier about that too? Like when I started this business, I can't speak for you. And I'm not saying that like I dumbed down what I was saying, but like I would think about like, if I go to a practice, like just a SEC LSU football practice, I'd be like, man, this guy's really explosive. You know, like he's the bomb. And I'm like, should I be putting these words on here since everybody's been like getting like dethroned? And I'm like, I'm going through all my tweets. Like, was I at a club and just posted a video of me and the boys because people getting copyright hits for like a song playing in the background?
Oh, dude, you're better off, Blake, not even posting any kind of like personal picture of you on Twitter. Dude, I mean, Blake, great example. Great example. Speaking of the Burnerverse, I don't know if you saw what some burners did, and it was when I was on with you the week of opening day, and I had the baseball, and I was like, Happy Valentine's Day, and I kissed the baseball.
I did. It was so funny.
I mean, I'm like, dude, come the fuck on, man. Like, I'll just say this for the audience that thankfully probably doesn't know what I'm talking about. You maybe saw the picture of me kissing a baseball. Let's just say that baseball was substituted with other things.
Yes.
By the Burnerverse.
Which is so wild. It's so wild.
I mean, I'm literally on my timeline and just see a picture of me and there's a cock in my face. I mean, literally. I'm like, yeah. That's just to give the folks an idea, just not even expecting. I see that on my timeline,
and it's like Big Herman. Remember Big Herman? You know, the black guy that sits on the edge of the bed.
Oh,
and I'm like,
yeah,
bro, dude. The crazy thing is that I've always thought about me and my wife. Like we went out to dinner like less than a month ago. It was for her birthday, and we're sitting there, Chris, and I'm like, because she sees it, and this is my wife we're talking about. Like this isn't like a girlfriend or just like a girl I'm trying to date or whatever, like my wife. So I'm putting a whole family through this. And I'm like, dude, do you like, she sees all the hate and she never gets on like Twitter or anything, probably be a bit a part of it. And I'm like, what's so crazy is they hate me so much and do stuff like that because of a sports take. If it was a political take, if it was like some other take, whatever you want to have, that's fine. Okay. Politics, I feel like there's no regard. Like, do whatever you want. Chris, we're talking about sports, bro. Like, we're talking about sports, and they hate you that much to want to do that. Bro, it's not a real place. My thought of what my opinion is does not affect your daily life. Now, if it's sourcing or if it's like, hey, I'm reporting this news, all right, fine. And if you're wrong, then fine. Like LSU has a guy, and I'm not going to elaborate much on this because whatever. Like the guy reports news, and it's not true. And I'm like, all right, there's a level to be like right, and there's a level to be wrong. Do what you want to do. But when it's just my opinion or your opinion on something, like, bro, calm down. Like, calm down. If I'm telling you I'm reporting something, I will let you know. Like, hey, man, this is the truth of what's happening. Until then, if it's an opinion, like, the personal shots are always funny to me. And I know that you deal with this too. We talked about this last night, ironically. Bro, how many times people have talked shit to me on Twitter? And then I went to a baseball game. One of my buddies was sitting there with me. He's like, man, look, you kind of went controversial this week. All these people that were at the ball game, like coming up to me to the LSU Southern Miss baseball game. Oh, man, we're sorry. We love you. It's just great banter. And I'm like, oh, it's great banter now because I'm 6'3", at the time 300 pounds, and you don't want to mess with nobody. Like, come on, dude. If you're going to talk that shit, talk this shit. Talk it in front of my face. That's the thing that always gets me, though, man.
There is, Blake, I'll just say this. There is no place where cowards find more bravery than Twitter.
No doubt.
No place.
I mean, it's great
because I've had the same exact thing happen. I've been in the teeth of it from the standpoint of I know I'm in. And I mean, I'll just be honest, man. Like my previous venture, obviously everybody knows. I think everybody that's here knows. I used to do the Spurs Up show with Gamecocks entity, and I stopped going to games, and for similar reasons that you don't go to games from the standpoint you're doing post game show stuff, and I was doing that too. But I'd be lying to you if I told you other reasons were, bro. I mean, I'd go to games, and again, cowards. So nobody's going to come up to you in real life and say anything and stand on that shit and whatever.
No.
But dude, I would literally get home and people have like taken pictures of me at the game and are talking shit. I'm just like, and thankfully I don't deal with that anymore. I mean, everywhere I go, everybody's great.
Right.
But yeah, it's coward-like behavior. So
Very, very beta male-ish. Like, come on, dude. Like, dude, we went to the Ben Rufino, my son.
yeah.
His first baseball game was in our hometown, Southeastern versus LSU. Brother, I've told you this story, not to get into great detail. Okay, my man's got a Tommy Tanks jersey signed right here. Okay, just to give you an idea of what was going on. We get out of the car, out of my truck. Okay, I just got in that truck that I picked you up in. Okay, when you were in Baton Rouge, brand new. Get out the truck. AYS. I'm like, and I scream back, my name's Blake. you know, like, but it's just like, it's so wild. Like, hey, man, let's have the conversation. The worst is, and I just had this experience, so probably why it's on my mind. Don't talk to me in the gym. Like, don't talk to me in the gym.
I've had that happen a good bit.
Yeah, leave me alone. This is my hour to think. It's really where I get all of my thoughts in. Like when I'm hitting the lat downs, like, you know, like this is what's getting me mad, you know. But even then, social media, which is pretty much his take. Like, we're going to talk about this. Like, dude, I posted in Ohio State, because I lost 100 pounds. I posted a photo of me in an Ohio State shirt. Now, that was a little bit petty on my part, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But like, even then, oh, you congratulations, but Ohio State, you traitor. I'm like, come on, dude. Come on. Like, I've given my entire life to this program pretty much.
Yeah, you have been getting worked, Blake. I want to move into that. Last thing I'll say, the Burnerverse situation, Blake, I was thinking about it. I'm not on anybody's side. Y'all are all fucking losers. So I don't know. I don't care.
Go to Tinder.
Both of you are
idiots.
Just sick humans. I don't know.
Very
yeah. So anyways, like you mentioned, like you've been getting kind of cooked. And it doesn't help that did I see LSU lost a 5-star from Baton Rouge?
Yeah.
First off, how does that happen? Second, besides money, which I'd assume is what it is.
Actually, it's not.
Not money.
No.
And then second off, you're getting cooked for the Ohio State. Which
okay.
I get it. Dude, if you see me in the gym, bro, I got a Utah shirt I love to rock. I got Florida baseballs. I mean, I guess it's a little bit different for me, but yeah, you're getting cooked a little bit, Blake.
Yes. All right. So let me ask you this question, Chris. We didn't talk about this, but I'm going to ask you. Do you think that it would be coincidence that I wear an Ohio State shirt and then the number 2 player in your state commits the next day? Do you think a message was being sent? Do you think
you don't believe in coincidences, so I'm going to say no.
Okay. I have a personal connection with Ohio State through just other means. I had a really good connection with that this was going to go down. And I literally the week before said, hey, listen, I went on my show, by the way. It's like, listen, you better land him. You better make a move. You better make a move. Well, Blaine Bradford committed. He's a safety out of Baton Rouge Catholic. Look, the thing about recruiting too, and everybody freaks out in the new world of NIL, because of Bryce Underwood and LSU's perspective, like, this isn't over until it's over. You're right. It's not over until it's over. But a PR hit is a PR hit. We have, both of us have a master class in PR. You can't lose a kid or have him commit somewhere else. It cannot happen. Now, if the kid would have committed to Kansas, you would have been like, all right, calm down. Like Jamar Chase did that. He committed to Kansas when Les Miles went there. All right, calm down. But this is Ohio State that you're talking about, right? And so, you know, like, even then it's like, hey, man, you traitor. And you know what's so funny about me wearing that shirt? By the way, these helmets that are up here, I've told you this before. The same guy that works here gave me all of these. Like, he's been there. He's done this. So I would just say this. Sometimes when people look, you know this, you've kind of now started to adopt this since you and I have been talking a lot. Louisiana people have a Louisiana connection regardless of where you're at in the country. If you're from Louisiana, you'll have a connection. You'll know the ins and outs, the coaches, everything's the same. LSU got out Louisiana. And by the way, their staff is on vacation this week. So they went on vacation on Saturday. All of a sudden, this pops on a Monday. I mean, people know what they're doing. There's never a coincidence behind all of this. You want to cook me, that's fine. Now, a lot of them were positive, but like there's people that are like, you're wearing Ohio State shirt. Like, bud, I've given I gave my entire life to do an LSU show, okay, before we did our national show. And I'm like, do you really, when it came down to it, who do you think I'm
yeah, do you really think Blake doesn't want him to go to LSU?
Right. Like I said last night, he is arguably the biggest recruit for Brian Kelly in this class because safety has been so shit, right? And you needed him. So, again, if you see me doing something out of my norm, it is a hint that's being sent to you. Why would I do a whole segment, as busy as we are at the current moment, March Madness, college baseball, spring football, to talk about a kid that's uncommitted? Come on, dude. Like, I mean, let's just be real. But, hey, you know what it did do? Did you see our buddy, I say our buddy, God dog, I forget, Chris Mahler. We had some going back and forth, and then it's like, okay, well, he comes in, it's like, hey, man, I might not agree with you on anything, but this is awesome. Congrats to you. And I'm like, hey, man, that's cool. Okay, so the sports banter is just sports banter, right? And then it's like, okay, well, that's cool. But then you're like, you traitor. And I'm like, come on, dude.
That's why I've been so hesitant, Blake, to, if anybody's noticed, rock any like team gear
right
on the show here, anything we do. But
which was given to me as a gift, by the way.
You said what?
That shirt was given to me as a gift.
Right.
Like, I didn't go buy that thing.
Yeah, it is a little bit, again, it's a little bit different for me because I've kind of taken on the mindset now that, like, for example, when I went down to Gainesville and Florida baseball gave me Florida baseball gear, I'm like, I'm gonna rock the shit out of this. Like, you show me love, I'll show you love.
Exactly.
Vandy football gave me that team issued hat. Bro, I had Vandy people blowing me up. Where can I get that hat? I'm like, you can't get this hat. No, you can't get this hat. No, it was team issued hat. Like,
you had a whole Ron Burgundy moment when you're like, I don't know how to put this.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, you just
people know me. That hat was pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also, too, I'll be honest, and I think my Vandy friends, Vandy brethren, they won't be offended by this. But isn't it too, Blake? Like, I think I can rock Vandy, and people just, like, they're not intimidated by it. They're like, oh, that's cute. It's Vandy. If you come on the show rocking Texas stuff, they're like, oh, fuck this dude, man. Fuck him. But it's Vandy. It's like, oh, because who hates Vandy? I mean, Tennessee fans, I guess, do. But I mean, or if I was like rocking Tennessee stuff for just whatever reason, it's like, oh, because that my biggest fear with that has been, like, like let's say like I rock Texas a Texas hat on the show, and then it's like next week I'm going to Aggie Land. I'm like, I mean, are they going to be? I don't know. People are weird, man. Like, people are just, like you said, people take the shit personally. Like, they take it too personally. So, I mean, at times,
way too. But here's the truth: is what you're saying about the situation true or untrue? And that's so you're mad about what he wears,
right?
Okay. Like what's being said that's true.
Now, like I said, now I'm to the point where it's like, hey, you show me love, dude, I'll rock it, like whatever. And like, it's if it's personal to you, that's kind of a you problem. Like, we're as unbiased as any here. So I mean,
exactly. Like what is the overall thought of it? But again, I do appreciate everybody, and like
that's why I was giving you shit. I don't have any LSU stuff. Like I've literally got stuff from Bama, Texas, Tennessee, Vandy, Florida. Georgia, no LSU yet.
Can I bring something up too? You know what bugs the shit out of me? When people send me DMs saying, can I have your mailing address, and to send me gear stuff, and I'm like, I am not giving you where I live.
That's why I got a business mailbox.
Right. I need to do that.
Yeah. I got
But anyway, you know what's crazy about that though? Do you know how many DMs I got sent about the carnivore diet that I was on? It had to be over 100. Because, I mean, look, man, at this point a year ago, I was 350.
You look good, man. That's why you look good.
350 plus
pounds. Hey, that was the whole point of the Ohio State shirt picture people probably missed.
Exactly. Like, hey, bud, I lost 100. I was like 100 pounds. Okay. Like that, like for me, I've always struggled with weight. Always. I mean, I live in Louisiana and Pyrans is too damn good for me not to pass it up. Okay. So it's like, but I had made a mental clarity check. Like, hey man, you can't live like this. And like I stopped drinking. I mean, but if anybody that watches this, you want to know about the carnivore diet, I am your man. I have been through the gauntlet of eating steak. Okay. So, by the way, your boy can now cook a pretty mean steak when you eat it that much.
Well, when
you find ways.
When I get down to Baton Rouge, we need to test that. Which, by the way, Blake, on that note, my friend, and I don't know how I'm just now mentioning this. It is April 1st. Oh. Happy April Fools, but this is no April Fool's joke I'm about to utter right now. The month of April, I will be in Baton Rouge in the month of April. This is true. In this month, we will be in Baton Rouge. That's all I'll say on it, but we will be there. We've made it to the month I return to the great state of Louisiana.
I did get got on a women's basketball thing today, though.
Dude, on that note, you know what I got on? Because I forgot, obviously, like everybody else, I forgot what day it was. Blake, I go on Instagram, and it was an LSU account, and what people are doing now, they're taking, like, whatever
on-3 commitment.
Well, they're taking, like they're making it look like somebody else's tweet, right? And they're, like, reporting it as, like, this account tweeted it.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Very dangerous. I mean, dude, we're in AI. April Fools needs to be shut down with fucking AI, dude. Like, because it'll get too far. People, Blake, you realize people will be able to take, like, videos of us, and they'll be able to, like, it'll be a video like this, and they can make it say whatever they want.
Oh, that happened to me and Joe.
That's fucking crazy.
That happened to me and Joe. That 100% happened to me and Joe about a year ago. I literally came out. The conversation and context was the football programs at Texas and Texas A&M, which those fan bases hate me already.
Right.
I just said over the last decade, Texas A&M had more overall success, wins and losses. In that video, we go back. Somehow in the video, it's me saying like, "Oh, Texas A&M is superior. Texas sucks. Like they'll never be good." And I'm like, where does this come from? And my mouth's not even moving. Like it's all over the place. And I'm like, bro, what? And Joe sends it to me. He's like, brother, you're getting cooked. I'm like, Joe, that's not even what I said. Like I just said, like, hey, one team had 14 more wins in the SEC than the other one had in the Big 12. What is wrong with that? You know, and it's already happened. AI is dangerous. You know what I see a lot of is Rogan. That happens to Rogan because people will see him say stuff, and it's like, well, I watch his podcast somewhat frequently, and I'm like, he didn't say that. Like he didn't come close to saying that. It's very dangerous, dude.
It is, and I will follow up on that in a moment. I want to tell you how I got though. It was an LSU account, and the post was essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but it said something like, LSU has banned the sale of alcohol at all football games in 2025 due to unruly fan behavior. And I'm like, there is no fucking way, dude. Like, but it got me for a second. I was like, huh? And then I went to Twitter and I looked at the account they cited for that, and like, it's nowhere to be found. I'm like,
right.
Oh shit, it's April Fool's Day. But on that note, Blake, of what they're like doing to Rogan, that shit's going to start happening more, especially if you're anybody in media and your entity is growing and you're starting to get more and more and more prominence. And with that's going to come more and more hate, jealousy, envy, people wanting to troll you, which is totally fine, whatever. Hear me out on this. Like, to me, because again, so you're telling me somebody could take a Joe Rogan video or whoever, doctor it to say anything, like the most horrific shit. I mean, brother, cancel culture is about cooked. I mean, because none of it's real. You know what I mean? Like, right. I mean, I've had people try to cancel me off the internet multiple times, many times, especially in my previous venture. All just nonsense, bullshit, made up, whatever. No proof of anything, no validity, anything. Just because they didn't like, to your point, my sports takes. And I'm sure you've had the same thing. But it's like, because so much of it is bullshit and BS, then it's all bullshit and BS, really. I mean, I guess, like, we're probably going to get to a place where I'm like, well, I mean, I don't love that you AI'd a video of me saying whatever, but I guess it's free marketing in a way. I mean, you almost have to look at it that way.
You
And
saw
like, you have to trust that there's enough people who are not deranged sickos, just deranged morons that will realize, I mean, I watch this guy's show, even if it's just time to time. I know this is bullshit. Like, there's just no way he fucking said this.
Well, and
You know,
even that, it's like, you saw on YouTube where you got to check a box and make sure that it's actual factual content. Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
Yeah, like that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't even post a video to say it's not like it's factual. By the way, I got they stopped me about 3 months ago because they said the content in there had already been published. And I'm like, what? You know, like what
Really?
what is going on? Anyway, neither here nor there. But listen, if you had to the point of the Ohio State shirt, if you want to lose some weight, dude, carnivore diet's where it's at.
Hit up Blake. Carnivore. Yeah. I'm proud of you, man. That's a big time accomplishment. People don't realize it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work. So proud of you, man. You look good. You look good.
Thank you. Hey, man. You know, here's the funny thing. Last thing, I swear to God.
You're still big enough to whoop some ass, though. So
that's what I was about to say.
Just so everybody out there knows.
Brother, I'll whip your ass. You know,
Blake's just trying to go from left tackle weight to tight end weight.
Yeah, listen now. I can run a clean route. I will run a clean route now.
But how them hands, Blake?
Funny story. You know, my dad put me and my brother in like boxing when we were growing up. So like some of the technique stuff, like we still know. And dude, my brother's lightning fast. And so like he's same height as me pretty much, but he's fast and I'm bulky. Like we're the complete opposite body types. And dude, one time we were getting after it, I just uppercutted the shit out of him, like right in his like jejunum, as Will Ferrell would say. And I'm like, listen, dog, I've had enough. But actually, believe it or not, he used to put it in his. I got punched one time really hard in the nose, and I said, I will never do this again. Like ever. And you know what Mike Tyson says, when you get punched in the face, you'll find out who you are? I found out I don't like this. I don't like this at all. This is for psychopaths.
Yeah.
Fighting is for psychopaths.
Yeah,
but in all seriousness, though, dude, you know, your mental clarity changes in all seriousness. Like my whole mental mind frame changed. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. Sound body, sound mind. Yeah, sound spirit.
No doubt. My business doubled. I'm like, how's this happening? Well, I'm not being a lazy piece of shit. That's why.
Well, dude, I'll tell you on that note, Blake, when I made the leap to being a full-time entrepreneur August of 2019, and like that summer, I probably lost like 25 pounds. And like I definitely, to your point, I definitely correlate my entrepreneurial success and getting going, and even to this point, what it's been, with keeping a regimen of, you know, trying to eat clean at least throughout the week and going to the gym and shit, and like trying to be. I don't feel like, to your point, I can be in peak mental shape if I'm not like, because I mean, think about it, dude. We're on camera every day. Like if you're not confident staring into that camera, it's going to affect your work.
No doubt, you know? And that's a whole nother thing. Like. I didn't care because I had a wife and it didn't matter. And I'm like, you love me. And she's, you know, like it didn't matter. And I'm like, I might want to look a little bit better. You know, I started getting the taper, and I'm like, all right, I'll clean my beard up too while we're at it.
This leads me into a different point, which is again going to be the beauty of this show, Blake, because it's going to be the most random shit of all time. I noticed this over the weekend, and I just started thinking about it. To your point, the differing in sports, like baseball coaches are in shape. Baseball coaches, for the most part, keep themselves pretty slim, in shape. I mean, we got some jacked coaches, dude. Like Eric Bakich at Clemson, dude's fucking ripped. I know Kevin O'Sullivan for a fact keeps himself right. I mean, dude's got a sauna in his house. I think he uses like 3 times a day. That's sort of off the record, on the record now. You know, like Tim Corbin's ripped, right? Why is it, you think, that baseball, I don't know, it's interesting. Baseball, because football is not really that way. Football is the king of just beer gut. It is the ultimate beer gut sport. But I wonder if it's not because baseball, think about it, Blake, it's the only sport where the coach is in the same uniforms as the players.
Yeah.
Think about that. Is that not kind of like weird when you think about it? Like, can you imagine a head football coach being in like football pants and a jersey.
Could you imagine?
Is that not like the wackiest shit of all time to think
Could
about?
you imagine Nick Saban in full football gear?
5'9", a steel, baby.
Bro, if Saban's 5'9", I got 6-pack abs. I've been
whatever. I don't know how tall he is. 5'7"?
I know. Oh, dude, he's all 5'7".
He is
5'7". But you know what? Here's the thing. He intimidates me more than anybody. I've been in a room.
The fact of 5'7" Nick Saban could stare like 6'5" motherfuckers in the face and strike the fear of God into them is just.
Go listen to the Derrick Henry video. Derrick Henry was like, Saban got on his ass one time. He's like, dude, my stomach started hurting. And I'm like, my boy got bubble guts.
Like Derrick Henry could snap Nick Saban in half.
Without a doubt. And he got bubble guts. You know, like, but for real, dude, I'll tell you the last time it happened to me was when Brian Kelly got hired and I saw him for the first time. Cause it's like, oh shit, you know, like this is pure insanity. Yeah. Baseball coach, like, dude, is there anybody in the country that's got bigger forearms than Kevin O'Sullivan?
I don't think so. I'll tell you this. I mean, everybody out there knows, I've got a really tight relationship with Sully in Florida baseball and we talk a good bit. Sully's it's funny because he's a great dude and like awesome, friendly, like really, but like he is terrifying on a baseball field. He looks like a stone cold killer. Like he has the ultimate mean mug, like fuck you look of all time.
Dude, I did not
know so funny to me.
I did not really know Sully like that or like how he would sound or who he is as a person. Until LSU played him in the national title and he's at the microphone and he's like talking like a normal human being. I thought this dude like gurred every time he went to my, you know, like that's how I picture Kevin O'Sullivan, you know. But to your point, baseball coaches. I mean, listen, I've told you this before. My grandfather, 30 years as a head baseball coach, and for high school. My uncle, they were never overweight ever.
Yeah.
But look, man, you're out there and you're hitting fungos and you're going through drills and you're doing all that shit. It's going to keep you. Which
is so funny because most people we talk to, they'll be like, oh yeah, baseball's a sport where you can be, you know, fat and out of shape. And I'm like, most of the guys aren't. So,
I mean,
what are we talking about?
Skip was a little overweight, but Skip would, you know, who's going to say anything to Skip? I ain't.
Yeah, and then most of the guys that are quote unquote overweight are the same guys that hit like mammo bombs. So, what are you going to say to them?
You know who my favorite I'll tell you this. You know what my favorite baseball player of all time was for a long time was Prince Fielder because he looked like me and he would just rake. And I'm like, but the problem is the dude's actually fast than most guys on his team though, right? Like that dude could pick him up and put him down. Fat people need love too.
We need to do like a fat guy power ranking, like top 10 best like fat baseball players. Because I'm just thinking of like Pablo Sandoval. My God, I mean, dude, he had a clause I think in his contract where he had to keep his weight below a certain, and I don't think he ever did. Hardly. Bartolo Colon, that's another one. I mean,
dude, how funny
I think he tweeted. He was like, "What if?" He's like, how many more home runs would I have hit if I had a torpedo bat? And he hit one.
All right, hold on. Can we get to torpedo bat before?
Yeah.
Can we get to torpedo? I am a New York Yankee homer. I will watch 100 of the 160 plus games that they'll play this year. They did not create this. Every other teams around the country are using the torpedo bat. And you know what? I have not made a statement on this. Everybody and their mama has come out and talked about they want dudes being on TRT and Trent and Winstraw again, like Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa and Roger Clemens and Palmeiro. And now that you have the torpedo bat, you're like, this isn't fair to the game. Brother, Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy ran this out there and was like, hey, man, this is cheating. Brother, your lead all-star in Rafael Devers is 0 for 16 with 14 Ks, and he's using a torpedo bat. They have dumbed down the ball. Chris, college baseball went through this, a decade ago, okay, where games were being won 3-2, and the bat was so dead.
Yeah.
You have dumbed down the ball.
Era, yeah.
The BB Core era. They have done so much to the baseball that literally Chris, you have a guy from Tennessee that was throwing 105. Paul Skeens is throwing 102. And I love Paul Skeens. And I love that you're seeing all these arms. Why aren't you trying to give an advantage to a hitter? Like, why? By the way, did you see that game 3 for the Yankees? It was the highest viewed regular season opening weekend in the history of Major League Baseball. Why would you not want them to have an advantage? By the way, did you see this too? Remember when we were kids, like Tony Gwynn, Craig Biggio, like all those dudes hit above 300? Do you know that it is very rare now that dudes hit above 300 in today's game? It might be 10. It might be 10. So, like, that is a baseball in Major League Baseball. They've had an issue, Chris. It's been a long issue. Why wouldn't you want to use the torpedo bat? Like, why?
Has Major League Baseball made a statement about it?
Not
I don't
yet.
think they have. They have to, right? I mean, they have to.
It falls inside the rules of
the Braves have already placed an order for them.
Right.
They need them because they fucking suck right now.
You know who? You saw the Marucci factory when you came to Baton Rouge.
Well, also too, I saw the video of the guy detailing like, here's what a torpedo bat is. Apparently, he's an LSU guy.
He is an LSU guy. He is an LSU guy.
I saw a lot of LSU fans being like, "That's the GOAT."
Well, he didn't invent it. It was a guy that was with the Yankees. He's with the Marlins now. He's like an analytical dude.
Is it MIT scientist? Is that what everybody's saying?
No, literally is. He's like, listen. Well, they did a study. Think about this. I texted you this last night. Anthony Volpe, the shortstop for the Yankees, barreled of the 2/3 of the baseballs that he barreled up were weakly hit and legitimately.
He gets jammed. He gets jammed all the time.
Exactly. So, Chris, you're taking a round ball and a round bat, and he's squaring it up. And he's getting 2/3 of the hits less than he should be have got, or what he would have gotten in the early 2000s. Do we understand that? So then he uses a torpedo bat. The same one that he barrels up goes yah. And then everybody was freaking out about the Yankees home runs. Aaron Judge hit 3 in one game. Guess who doesn't use a torpedo bat? Guess who doesn't? So the like Barstool and the Red Sox people, they got their vaginas in a wad.
Well, and of course it's going to be them because they're Red Sox guys. They're they're New Englanders. Yeah.
What are we doing, bro? Like
everybody's hating. Everybody's hating the torpedo bat thing because it's the Yankees and they hit like 50 bombs in the first weekend or first series or whatever. So I mean, dude, if it's within the realm of the rules and everybody can use them, I have no problem with it. Go get your own then, and we'll see if everybody can hit bombs like that. I don't. I mean, to your point, dude, think about our childhood, like when baseball, like, dude, has anything ever been better for baseball than when you had the McGuire Sosa home run chase? Like, we need more of that. Yeah, we need more of that.
Pinnacle baseball moment. It has nothing to do with baseball. It does and it doesn't. When 9/11 happened and George Bush with a bulletproof vest runs out to the Yankee Stadium during a World Series and throws a strike to home. Dude, I got chills thinking about that. I don't give two shits about your political views. I could care less. It is America's sport, bro. And you have legitimately altered the baseball so much. Chris, again, you have 10 to 15 guys that'll hit above 300 this year. Or let's just say if you don't use the torpedo bat. That is insane. That Major League Baseball has come out with a statement. I love Major League Baseball more than it's probably my biggest closet thing I don't talk about that I am just a homer over. Okay. Literally, you had like 15 guys hit above 300. Chris, you might have 30 to 35, maybe even 40 that did it a couple of years ago. Like that is insanity. That is we literally as baseball fans, if you follow college baseball, we saw it happen. By the way, who won 2 World Series during that time frame? Coastal Carolina, and who was the other mid-major that won it?
Was there a mid? Oh, Fresno State.
Fresno State.
Yeah. Who was a 4 seed in a regional. We will never see that again.
Exactly. But you can say, well, it's because of Portal. No, it wasn't because of Portal. The Portal, 5 years after that, when they changed the bat, the SEC started dominating. Oh, the best. Dude, Alex Bregman is a big, proponent to this. We never thought that Alex Bregman would have this type of power in Major League Baseball. You gave him a BB Corbett, you idiot. Like, come on, dude. Could you, man?
Yeah, and dude, I'm a former pitcher, and I mean, I love a good pitching duel, but dude, for the health of the game, it's bombs that puts people in the seats. I mean,
think about this,
dude. It's like every other sport. We don't want to see defense. Let's be honest.
Oh.
We don't want to see defense.
No, we don't. But it's not. I'm not saying to make it so egregious. Right. Okay, but
is there a balance? Can we find a balance?
Exactly. Like last night,
when I played, it was the orange stealth, and balls are being hit 3,000 miles an hour back at you.
Yeah, now that's scary. Now that's scary.
And the sound was just a tong, like tennis racket. Just
I had the Easton Reflex, the red and gray. Brother, I used to high kick and swing for the fucking bleachers. Dude, I ask anybody. I used to swing for the bleachers.
All of those stealths, those composites.
Without a doubt.
Good God.
TPX was big coming up when we were like, at least when I was.
Dude, do you remember the Little League, the Copperhead bat?
Oh, dude.
Oh my God.
Man. I remember having. You remember AOL? You remember?
Yeah.
We used to. All of our group of friends used to be on AOL, and I used to go on there. And one of our buddies, Matt Angelo, shout out to Matt Angelo. Haven't talked to him in 20 years. Okay. He got one. He's like, I got a Copperhead. And we're like, Mom, Matt Angelo got one. Why can't I get one? You know? And that was like the dawn of like, by the way, he hit bombs. That stealth bat, that black and green stealth bat was also like, was also deadly. But again, to the overall point of this, I hate when non-baseball people try to talk about it. And the whole Portnoy thing is idiotic. It's so idiotic. By the way, in 40 games last year with the Yankees, Jazz Chisholm Jr. hit 14 home runs. It's not like he wasn't hitting bombs anyway. So miss me with the Rafael Devers is 0 for 14 or 0 for 16 and 14 strikeouts. He's using a torpedo. He can't hit the baseball. I mean, I'm dead serious. I think
Blake has no sympathy for the Red Sox.
Fuck no.
Yeah,
no.
Which I would expect. Yeah.
But Boston had use it. Use it.
Yeah.
Now, Giancarlo Stanton is blaming the torpedo bat for his injury. Did you see this?
I did not.
His elbow injury. He's blaming it. He's blaming that it messed up his UCL, which
interesting.
Bro, you've been hurt every single year. Don't you dare blame Marucci for your fuck ups. Like, you're 6'7". You know, like,
how is a bat going to cause an injury?
He's saying because it's so weighted on the end of it that it's making, like, he's got so much force at the barrel or at the knob of the bat that it's like messing up his elbow, which is bullshit.
I was say everybody else is fine, but
Giancarlo, everybody else in the country has been fine besides him. I don't want to hear that shit. Again, here's the ultimate conclusion. Would you rather dudes sticking needles in their ass to start hitting bombs again, or would you rather it be a more even playing field? That is your choice.
Baseball, in closing, Blake, baseball's such a, like, I mean, obviously I love it. You love it. I mean, I'm a baseball guy. We're both baseball guys through and through, but it's just, MLB is such a funny game because and baseball in general, because you have like unwritten rules and you have the old heads, the purists of the game. And then we had the steroid era. And it's just, there's so many gray areas with baseball at times. It feels like, you know, the way the records are and, you know, I know people love to joke about this, but like we have, you know, guys that are the all-time leaders in so-and-so before everybody could even play the game, you know, like it's very, baseball's very, very interesting with like, you know, pine tar and like, I don't know if in any other sport, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I don't know if in any other sport players do more to get an advantage than, you know what I mean? Like there's just all kinds of stuff that it's like very fuzzy. Like, is this against the rules? And it almost takes like years for it to change where it's like they enforce it or anything.
You would know this better than me because you play more golf than me. Remember the red shirt Tiger Woods, what was it, 08, when they got claimed that he was using a heavier club.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, Blake. Listen, if you can fucking redirect the weight on a bat and change the sweet spot, give me a driver that the sweet spot is the whole damn face of the club.
Right.
Please.
Well,
I'm asking.
Barry Bonds came out and said that, listen, literally the sweet spot on a barrel of a wood bat is the size of my fist.
Yeah, no, it's very small.
It's very small.
Yeah.
So, like, man, I'm so for this shit. By the way, Ben Ruffino, I don't know if you know this, MLB The Show. He has 63 home runs as a third baseman, lefty. He's got the Robinson Cano batting stance. We are on our path to breaking the Barry Bonds record.
Has been reached. I always see like these funny TikToks and videos, Blake, of kids in 2025 versus kids in like 2005, where it's like parents are taking their kids to the store and, Dad, I need a shin guard, I need an elbow guard, I need a thumb piece,
yeah.
I need a sliding mitt. Has he gotten you in there? Are you like, or are you like, you're like, what do you need batting gloves for? Fuck that. You go out there and hit.
All right.
That's how our parents were.
Okay. I'm not going to do it because it would take way too much time, and your time is precious. You know, he's got a red and blue glove with a batting sleeve. He's 5.
Well, see, that's the problem with his favorite player being Tommy Tanks. Is Tommy Tanks was one of the most dripped out players you could possibly. Tommy Tanks had everything on.
He wears one batting glove on his left hand.
That is true.
One.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. No,
is that what Ben's doing?
Dude, what? What?
Did Tommy Tanks ever give a reason to why he did that?
No, I mean, I don't ever remember him being asked for what it's worth, right? Like,
that's a question I would love to ask.
I never remember that, like, being asked, but like, I don't even know if I can do this. I don't know if you're probably gonna don't freak out on me. But look at this. Look at my dude right here. Okay, like, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I don't even know. Can I share this?
I'll share it. Yeah.
This is a whole year ago. Watch the ping. I mean, my man is ready to go, bro. He's like ready to go, man. You know? Anyway.
He's crushing. So
Dude.
you got him hooked up with the gear then.
Not like the shin guard. He got for his birthday. He got
Can you imagine rocking a shin guard in T-ball?
Dude, I told you the story.
My God.
We had a parent. This, Chris, if I'm lying, I'm dying. We literally had a parent approach me about travel ball T-ball.
The travel ball, or just like the little league or youth baseball culture is a wild place. Hey, that is the, dare I say, real life equivalent of the Burnerverse to a degree.
Oh, see how
where it's like the people are so outrageous. You're like, there's no way you're real. You're not a real human.
No, dude.
And you talk, and what do burners do to get irrationally upset at shit that doesn't call? What does a travel ball parent do? What is it?
They're 5.
Dude, Blake, I coached a little league team. This was probably 10 years ago. I coached a little league team. I think the kids were like, so it wasn't T-ball. It was like 10 and 11, 9 and 10. You couldn't fucking pay me to ever do that again.
Oh,
Blake, I know you'll be doing it. God bless you. I can't wait for a dad to try to motherfuck Blake Ruffino of why he didn't put so-and-so into pitch. I can't wait for that.
Pause.
Can't wait for that.
Brother, it's happening now. In T-ball, they have to play positions. Why is my son playing right field? So you know what I did? They screamed this out in practice. I literally said, I told the kid, I'm not going to name his name. I was like, go to third base. Ben, told Ben, you're playing right field. Ball hit to Ben. True God, hand to God story. Ben fields a ground ball that's hit to him in right field and throws it home. I'm like, that's why. That the reason he's playing third is because he can throw it. He can throw it from there, right? Like, I mean, dude, it's so insane. And listen, my number one job is to make them pay attention. Stop picking flowers in center field. You know, like that is my number one job, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's what you deal with in the T-ball age.
God.
It'll get more fun, but my God, again, you could not pay me to coach a little league team. I just
listen. It's all worth it because I see him come up and him
right,
hit,
right.
and he's having fun.
Yeah,
but y'all gotta relax. Like they gotta relax, dude.
I'm telling you, it's the real life Burnerverse. It's that level of absurdity.
It really is. It really, really, really is. And here's the crazy thing. At least in the Burnerverse, you're behind a computer and I don't really know who you are. You're doing this shit out in real public.
Good point.
You know, like what are you doing behind yourself?
You're making an ass of yourself in the local community.
Exactly. And I'm like, dude, we could spend a whole episode 2 could be all about T-ball drama.
Hey, ain't nothing like Louisiana T-ball drama.
Oh, hold on. I will send you an email to confirm this. We got an email last week telling coaches to stop drinking during practice.
whole T-ball practice be smelling like bourbon.
Dude, me and the other coach, I'm like, what's the logic? Like, did the dude bring out an ice chest and start smashing natty lights at a T-ball practice? Because first off, I want to know who it is because I want to have a conversation with the man. But what are we doing? What are we doing?
Hey, you and I went to Alex Box last fall for a scrimmage, and the smell of bourbon fills the air. That's T-ball. At any baseball field in Louisiana, that's what you get.
It's gonna
just getting them ready for the big show.
I know we're
you want to play at LSU. This is what you're going to be smelling: bourbon throughout the stadium. So
I know we're kind of joking, but the sad truth is it's not wrong, and that's crazy.
I mean, I know it's not. I mean, get ready for the show, but you want to play at LSU. This is what you got to look forward to.
Yeah, and you know what? What's crazy is it like because of the absurdity and insanity here about baseball, bro. A former LSU player built a multi-million-dollar business off of travel ball.
Who is that? Who was
Terrio Traction? That whole deal is like a whole everybody wants to be a part of it, and I'm like. You know, Ben's friends are trying to, like one kid I know that's his friend tried out and he didn't make it. I'm like, Ben, he can't throw the ball, buddy. You know, like I'm having to explain to him, like he can't throw the ball. You know, it's a whole absurdity of like, am I going to get selected? And I'm like, you ain't got to worry about being go have fun. You're 5. You know what I mean?
And what's like, you're right, because we could spend an entire show on this plate. The reality of it is, excuse me, the reality of it is, like 99% of those kids will not sniff a college roster. They will not. That's the reality. They will not.
90% of them
won't sniff high school.
Yeah. You know, and that's the part I'm like, buddy, go have fun because what else are we doing here? You know, and you know what's crazy? I think that we say that as people that played at a next level. You know, like when it was over, we were like, oh, shit.
Well, dude, and it's the most fun you'll have because I think we've talked about this. When you get to college,
it's not fun anymore.
That's when it becomes a business.
Dude, I'll never
forget. Especially now. I mean, dude, you're talking about Ben, and we see college athletics. Dude, imagine when in 10 years, 11 years, whatever, when he's getting recruited. I'm sure you've thought about this. When he's getting recruited, how much different is college athletics going to look in a decade?
Well, Chris, think about this. To go to whole nother level, this year, nobody is preparing the general public for what this year will look like. Newsflash, revenue share.
Yeah.
Okay. Suspend a player, see what happens. Suspend their money, see what happens.
Fine a player, yeah.
Yeah, find a player and see what happens.
Yeah.
By the way, we're talking about Ben Ruffino and MLB The Show. You know where he went, right? For college?
Well, I mean, I was toying with the idea of doing a stream, and I was like, I know where I have to. I know what I have to do. I know where I have to go.
You want that? We would have canceled this podcast as soon as it got together. We would have canceled it. By the way, South Carolina, bottom of the 9th. Okay, I took a picture of this. LSU beat South Carolina in the College World Series of Omaha. Ben Ruffino, 2-2 count. Sends one over the right field bleachers. Okay. See ya. That Robbie Cano batting stance is orgasmic.
Oh, dude. One of the smoothest of all time. Dude. He was so smooth, people thought he was lazy. There were people that he's lazy. It's like, no, he's
never heard that before.
That nonchalant. He's that nonchalant because he's good.
When he won the home run derby and he's taking one from the letters, and he's just whop. And I'm like, bro, it sounds like somebody's being paddled out here. Like, them old school paddlings. Dude. All right, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to get in too much trouble.
Good God.
A whole paddling.
Blake, let's put a pin in it, man. A lot of fun. Yeah. We got some other stuff we didn't get into that we'll carry over to episode 2. One of them, namely Michael Early. I have this weird feeling this commentary we have about him will probably still apply this time next week. So
it will.
With a road trip coming up, the Rocky Top, it will.
This is what I'll say about Michael Early. I don't like doing that. I told you so. You were warned.
Yeah.
You were warned.
I didn't give enough credit to new coach. What could go wrong? I hold that L. I wish I would have.
Well, it's not even you. To the truth of it, I never thought they'd be this bad. I thought they'd be sub 500 in the league.
Yeah,
15-15. That's where I thought it'd be a regional team.
Yeah,
but good Lord,
never buy the Aggie hype.
Don't ever try to fight an Italian when he's trying to skim rules. Have you met the mafia? Nick Mangione will kill you. Okay? You're like, anyway.
It's like that TikTok I sent you. He's Italian. He's Italian.
Bro, that man's got ragu going through his veins right now. He will murder you. Okay?
The Italians in the SEC are faring well. Ruffino, Mangione, Vitello. Be careful. Tread lightly.
Dude.
Tread lightly.
Name an Italian that has sucked in baseball. Blake Ruffino, Joe DiMaggio. I mean, we're all over the place.
Volpe, is he Italian, right? Volpe's Italian. Hey, Anthony Rizzo.
Right. Rizzo. By the way, Rizzo, you know that he comes to a game every year in Baton Rouge and like tailgates and like goes nuts.
Is there a reason?
He was one of the first Major League Baseball players to sign with Marucci. They bring him down. Okay, what was the game? I don't even remember the game, but LSU won and they were not supposed to. And dude's like, "This is the best sporting event of all time." And Jack gets him on the field because he's a part of the staff, and he's like, "Dude, this is insane." I'm like, "Dude, this wasn't even Bama. This wasn't even Ole Miss. This is like South Carolina, or when I think it was South Carolina when Spurrier and them were like undefeated and they came into town and it was really raining.
Yeah.
And I remember like the Les Miles fake field goal and all that shit.
Yeah.
If you remember that game.
Yeah. 07.
07. Yeah, it was like 07. Right. Yeah. Jacob Hester, shout out.
Yeah. What a time. Shout out, Jacob Hester.
Right.
Blake, good shit, man. Again, we appreciate you all tuning in. To your point, episode 1 in the books, off and rolling again every Tuesday night, probably around 8 Central, 9 Central. By the way, Blake, if you don't notice, I'm starting to transition my brain to Central Time because your boy is going to be living in Central Time in 2 months. So I'm transitioning my brain to Central Time. So if you're attached to times with us, just know it's all going to be Central for me, which everybody I talk to says that's the superior time zone. I've been an Eastern time guy my whole life, but
it is, because think about this. If a premier game starts at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time here, Bob, we're out at 10. You're out at 11, 12 a.m.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
You should be. Nashville's the GOAT.
Nashville's the GOAT. Guys, again, appreciate you all tuning in. We'll have tons to discuss next week as well. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun, Blake. I really appreciate you. Before we get out of here, guys, I do want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel, because, of course, we're brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. This bracket season, FanDuel is letting you make the call, because right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra bucks to bet on everything from clutch shots to last-second heartbreaks and even who's cutting down the net. So if you've been waiting to join, there's no better time. There's tourney action almost every day, and FanDuel has amazing bet types like spreads, totals, game props, and so much more. Myself, Dave Shoemate, we're dropping picks for all these games during March Madness. Myself, I'm dropping baseball picks. Really about to start getting big into baseball gambling as well. You can tail us, you can fade us, whatever you do. Just make sure you go to FanDuel.com/SECU and get in on the college hoops action all attorney law. Must be 21 and up and present in select states or 18 and up and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bet expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Once again, Blake, appreciate you, my man. Really excited for this. Again, we're off and running. We're off and rolling. A vision has finally become a reality, and this is the show the SEC didn't know they needed, but they're going to get it, goddammit. So anyways, appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you all so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast or get your podcasts. Again, we're across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. For Blake Ruffino, I am Chris Phillips. This is To Your Point. We'll catch you all next week. Appreciate y'all.